Whoops. I did a goof. I scheduled it for 5 minutes early and forgot about it.
Well, that's 5 minutes of bonus. What was this called? Sunset, right?
Yeah. Welcome to Sunset. I forgot about the rules. Don't worry about that. Nothing to see
It
here at
happens.
all.
It happens.
I did, however, I saw this really funny. I guess it was really only funny to me. Chris here said, "Happy New Year to everyone who celebrate the New Year," and I just found that like really funny for some reason. Like, oh, he was drunk last night as well. Apparently, I hit the wrong comment.
Oh
I don't
boy.
know why that made me laugh so much, but it's like people say like Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. I just love the idea
Yeah.
of like, no, I don't celebrate the New Year. I don't observe New Year's. I think years are made up,
Yeah, it's still
and
2010 for me.
yeah, I mean, 2010 was a good year, so I just think it's just still 2010.
It's understandable.
It's January 13 first. It's the 13th January of 2010. That's how I like to go for it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, my New Year is definitely going better than the guy that I sent you the picture of.
Oh yeah, that was unfortunate. Where'd you see that? Was it just like on the street near your apartment?
I was in DuPont Circle,
Okay.
just chilling outside of I guess an apartment building. Here, let me share the screen for those of you guys who don't observe Twitter.
Happy Twitter to those who celebrate.
Yeah, happy Twitter to those who celebrate. This is the rather unfortunate thing that I witnessed. Let's see if I can make that bigger. There we go. Yeah, this that's gotta suck.
Yeah, is that totaled?
Uh, I reckon it is. I reckon it is. I mean, let's
Oof.
look. Let's do a little bit of a live insurance claims adjustment, shall we? So, what we're looking
Riveting.
at here, I believe, is let's say a 2018 Honda Civic. Okay, what's the trim? So we've got alloy wheels. It's a sedan. Might be an EXL. So let's
Sure.
let's narrow down. Let's try to figure out how much this car is worth. So it's a 2017, maybe through 2019. I think it might be an EXL. You know what? It might be one trim lower down. It might actually be an LX. No, an LX would have. Okay, it might be an LX. I think I found it.
Okay.
It's not a 2018 though. So it's got to be like a 17. Yes.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. I have found a comparable car. Chat might have more details here, but here we have a very similar gray Honda Civic 2017. I think this looks pretty similar. So this is a $20,000 car. You know what? I think our example here on Twitter might just be one trim lower. So let's call this a $20,000 car, assuming it's got decent mileage here. So what are we looking at? Well, the back is smoked, right? New bumper, new taillight. I think both doors, at the very least, a rear door skin. The front door looks pretty munched to me. The lower rocker panel, that's toast. If we look in real close, which we actually really can't do here on old Twitter, Elon doesn't let us get in that close. But it looks like there are some rivets that are popped on the door sill down there, so that might be a couple grand more in framework. Obviously, take a look at that rear wheel. That wheel, the tire's toast. I think the wheel has actually snapped off the axle because it's pushed forward and it's turned. And real wheels, they don't really turn on Honda Civics, as far as I'm aware. So, and look at the back. I mean, that back quarter panel, that's a big weld job. The rear subframe is totally toasted. I think what we are looking at here is a totaled car. There's no way on a $20,000 car you're going to rebuild the whole passenger side.
Damn. Sad.
That's so unfortunate. Can you imagine, you wake up, you come out of your apartment, and you know what? If you come from that side of the street, you might not even see that it's totaled because you'd see the good side.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
And you'd get in and turn it on and be like, wait a minute, something's not right.
Oh, God. That would be... Someone said the driver was obviously testing his iPhone or watch crash detection.
See, so this car, the reason I think this sucks is obviously we can see that there's all of the bits that have come off the car on the ground. So like that big plastic clump by the rear wheel, that is the part of the bumper that's missing. So 100%, this car was parked overnight and some drunk driver just absolutely took the side off.
Yeah.
And the person, I mean, I walked past this at like 7 or 8 a.m. So they almost certainly didn't even know that had happened at that point, or it would have been towed.
Yeah.
Also, the car is in front of a driveway, so I'm pretty sure the whole thing got moved forward.
Yeah, what a thing to wake up to. Great way to start your new year.
I know. Almost certainly a hit and run. Gosh. Oh, I would be so pissed if I came out and my car looked like that.
Dude, I don't know what I would do. Like, that's... Oh my God. I hope there's like security cam footage or something somewhere.
You'd hope. Someone says that they would have gotten in the car and just saw, my tire pressure light is on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I've never had a car get totaled, but I don't know if you remember this, Noah. I think it was about 2 years ago. I was woken up by my roommate saying like, "Hey man, your car is smoked." My neighbor, I had street parking at that address where I had lived in 2019, and one of the neighbors down the street misjudged the gap and sideswiped the whole side of the car. I wonder.
Yep, I
I think
remember
I can probably find a picture to put up here. That was deceivingly expensive.
Oof.
I'm sure I can find that. And they were fortunate, since they live on the same street as me, they weren't, so rude as to not leave a note. So they did accept responsibility at the very least.
That's good.
Aha. Yeah, so wait, I've got it. I've done it. This was the unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
Now it doesn't look that bad from here, right? I mean, you can see that my mirror was absolutely toasted. But we just have some paint work on the fender. The little plastic cladding just, pops off. The front door had I think it needed to have some body filler. There's also scrapes. It's hard to see, but it's on the trailing edge of the driver's door and on the rear. Like, it was the whole side of the car needed paint work. So this little fun time, that ended up being, I believe the final repair was $4,700.
Whew.
Yeah. Part of that was
Jeez.
because I needed a new side mirror, and the side mirror on it's what it has lane keep assist, that car. So if you have lane keep assist, your mirrors are very precious now because they've got sensors in them. And so that made it a lot more expensive.
Yep, that's really unfortunate.
I mean, Noah, you had a tree fall almost on your car, partially on your car.
Yeah, I never followed up about that. I was supposed to talk to the insurance about it. But yes, there was a tree that fell. It kind of messed up the car in front of me. Like it took the door handles. It was on the driver's side. It took the door handles
Ugh.
off the car, scraped it up pretty good. I think it took the mirror off, the driver's side mirror off. But it did leave a nice little dent in my car and a couple little scratches. I got away pretty lucky, I guess, but I still need to
Yeah.
follow up about that.
I wonder, I think I have a picture.
Yeah, I think I sent you a picture too.
Yeah, you did. Well, it only loaded a very low resolution one, but that'll do. I'm so confused as to, like, was it windy? Was it storming? Just completely random?
I don't remember. I don't think it was. That is pretty low res. I think I might have sent you another one that was closer later, but I'm not sure. I mean, you can kind of see it.
Oh yeah, you did send me a closer one. Yeah, no, it took out the door handles in the mirror, and there's dents in the roof. It looks like a quite a mess, frankly.
Yeah, I don't park near in that area. I guess the tree already fell or some part of it fell, but I don't park in that area anymore.
I still think though that the winner for, like, hang on a second. Luke Miani, Twitter, Altima. Let's see if I can find this. The absolute most, like, the peak Nissan Altima that I tweeted about the other day, I think that might be my favorite, like, because the thing is, like, it's one thing, right, if somebody hits your car or if your car gets damaged while it's parked, but it is a completely other thing if you are driving a car around and this, here we go. I got the picture. Let me put it up on the screen here. This is a car, and I see this car around a lot. I see this car all the time, and this car is absolutely, this is peak Nissan Altima. I think every Nissan Altima is destined, as with Entropy, to become this. Like, look what we've got going on here, right? Bumper completely gone. California license plate, thousands of miles away. Cool. Headlight toasted, not working. Bumper toasted. Hubcap missing, obviously. Hood not seated properly. Parking tickets, yes, multiple. Dent in the roof with rust showing, which means it's been there for at least like a year. Absolutely, you name it. And guess what? This car's got a front plate, no rear plate. How are you driving around with no rear plate on your car?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, here, look. I got the other picture. Of course I got the other picture.
Oh, good.
No rear plate on the car.
Oh my god.
And you'll notice, of course, bumper is scuffed and scratched on the left side. You can see that really deep dent on the right side of the roof there. With no rear plate, like, you couldn't even just take the front plate off, which nobody cares about, and put it on the back. Look, the car across the street doesn't even have a front plate. But I don't even know. I don't even know what to say, you know? This is Nissan Altima drivers, man.
That's funny because someone wrote r/Nissan drivers in the chat, and I found that subreddit like a couple weeks ago, and I had never noticed before. But after I found that subreddit, I noticed that all the Nissan cars, They're always the ones that have like the dents and the like missing pieces and like
Yep.
the multiple. I think I sent you a picture of, I might have been a Nissan that had like 3 or 4 different colors of like of the body, that it was like a Frankenstein's monster of cars.
Oh, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. It was a Buick Verano.
That was a Buick. All right. Well, usually it's
Yeah.
a Nissan, but
I don't know
that
what
was,
it is
pretty
about
funny.
Nissans. Like, why are Altimas, or I see a ton of Sentras and Versas that are like that too. Actually, wait, no, on
Yeah.
that same exact day, just but a moment later, I saw this. Hang on, let me pull this picture up. Also a Nissan driver, 1 block away. This is how they were parked.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Bro, that is not parking is not a contact sport, people. Also, look at the side of this car. What's up with the like pink? Is that, did they hit
Ooh.
someone? What is that?
Oh god.
And it's already missing hubcaps. It already had no hubcaps, by the way. Like, this car
Yikes.
is not even old. It's a Sentra. When did they do the redesign? I think, bro, is this? No. This is a 2020 car.
Damn, they speed ran the destroying it.
Dude, the Nissan Driver Strat is like speed running, making your car look like a beater. This is this is less than 3 years old.
Damn. It doesn't look it. Not anymore.
And the worst part was, I was taking this picture and making fun of how bad it was. And then the people came back to the car, got in it, and left. And they saw me like taking a picture of it.
Oh god.
Like, how do you park your car like this? It's a 2020 model year car. It has a reversing camera. How do you just like back up into someone else and then not even go, oops, I hit them, let me run away? I'm like leave it there. How bold is that? What if the other person came back and said, insurance claim, here I go? Like, what goes through the mind of Nissan drivers?
Honestly, probably nothing. I'm going to be honest with you. They probably
you're
don't
right.
think. No offense to any Nissan drivers in the who are watching this.
Yeah, do we
Unless
have any
you
Nissan
park like this
drivers who are
person.
watching this? As if they're going to admit now that they drive a Nissan after what we've just said. Yeah, and watch out if you live in DC and you drive a beat up Nissan, I'm going to put you on blast here cuz this is going to be my new YouTube channel, is just calling out Nissan drivers.
That should be a new segment on your car channel.
Honestly, not a bad idea.
Would be pretty funny.
You know what we should do?
We should start the
probably
podcast
start the
in
podcast.
about 1 minute.
Once you put your wall up.
I'm so close, and this is my big announcement that I will make at the beginning of the episode. Very exciting.
Oh boy.
I'm so close here. Okay.
He's almost there, ladies and gents. So close.
This is the riveting content that you come here to see.
I'm on the edge of my freaking seat here. Holy moly. Yeah, what's the I'm very, very looking forward to this announcement. I can't wait.
Oh, I know. And you won't have to wait. You won't have to wait much longer.
Are we ready? Could it be?
Let's get QuickTime open here.
Oh, he's got the jacket on. Oh, hell yeah. Sick.
Now it's getting real. Now it's getting real. All right, all right.
I feel bad. You're more zoomed in than me. So now we're even there. That's good. Look at that.
Fantastic. All right, I think I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready to
Shall
go.
we off to the races?
Let's go for it.
Welcome to Dark Mode, the podcast that brings you sage advice from two technology experts. And that's not just what we call ourselves. It's what our moms tell people when the Nissan has Apple CarPlay. I couldn't think of a very good intro. So I think we've just cursed 2023. But welcome to a new year. I am your old host, Luke Miani.
And I'm your old host, Noah Rubin. On this show, we take questions from listeners, attempt to answer them to varying degrees of success, and maybe even have a laugh or two along the way. And you know what? It's a new year. It's a new year. We've got some of the same old things. We got the same old intros as the last time. But there is something new. This is my big announcement.
Oh boy.
It's a new year, and it's time for a new adhesive solution.
Oh my god.
For the wall panels. That's right. That's right.
I thought that the big announcement was the friends we made along the way.
No, I don't care about them.
Oh, fair enough. So you mean to tell me that you may have a potential solution for the wall panels falling down?
Well, let me tell you this. I have been recording a new video for my channel for the past couple of days. I know that's another one. 2023.
Oh my goodness!
The new year. I know that channel.
Big changes.
I want to mention this because I thought this was really funny because we talked about this. My YouTube channel lost monetization status because I haven't uploaded in so long that I don't have enough watch hours to get it anymore. I didn't even realize that would happen.
When did you lose it? In November?
It was like November or the beginning of December. I thought once you got it, you were like, set, but apparently not.
I have to try to log back into. I have this old monetized YouTube channel. I don't even know. Like it's so old that it wasn't tied to a Google account. So I don't even know how to get into that account. I have no clue. But it was tied to AdSense. I did get paid through it back in the old days. And I don't know how to get back.
There's got to be a way. There's got to be some way to get back to it, right?
Let me try.
I would be so curious.
I think I had it on a Yahoo account.
Oh classic.
It's showing up here, but what was the password?
While you're looking into that, I will say, so I've been working on a YouTube video for the past couple of days. I've been filming here, of course. That's also why the background is a red color now, because I was changing it up a little bit. But the wall panels kept falling down, and it's already hard enough because I wrote a whole script for this video. Because it's a very particular, I want it to be scripted, whatever. You'll see in a couple of days. But I wrote a whole script for it, and I'm not very good at memorizing stuff to read a script. So it's already kind of frustrating enough to record it. But then these wall panels kept falling down every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, a new one would fall down. I have so much footage of me bending them and throwing them and slamming them against the wall. I got so heated over. I don't even want to release. I'm not going to release that footage. It's bad. But I got so heated over these wall panels that I finally, just before the podcast episode, I finally went to Target and I bought a pack of command strips. And I'm really hoping that they work so that I can, finish recording my video and also they won't fall during the episode. So, we'll see what happens.
You know what? I am a little offended. We've been doing this podcast for 71 episodes. But you didn't care to fix your wall panels until it affected your YouTube channel.
You know what? Here's what I'll say about that. That's a fair accusation. I will take that. I will say I feel like the wall panels, and particularly the fact that they're falling, that's sort of become part of the image of dark mode, and it's not
Yeah.
something that I wanted to give up so easily. And for all I know, they're going to keep falling. Maybe this doesn't, this does say says that they're for like posters. See, it says poster strips on it. These are not
Right.
posters,
No,
so
they're
they
not.
could still fall. But I wanted
Because
to,
the
I
strips
figure
actually have technology that can detect what you're attaching. So if it's like a record, no, off, fall, a panel, nope, fall. Only posters work. It's DRM.
that's yeah. See, that's what I'm worried about. Like, I feel like these
Yeah.
are definitely not posters, but I hope that like maybe they can like trick the command strips into working. I'm not sure how smart these wall panels are, but we'll see.
I think
Maybe
probably very.
I mean, I feel like, so here's the thing, like when these wall panels kept falling and I got mad at the wall panels, I kept like bending them and like throwing them, whatever. In reality, it's not the wall panel's fault. It's the tape's fault. And I feel like the wall panels
I
are
would
kind of
argue
in
the
this with me.
wall.
The wall, yeah, the wall's fault or the tape. I mean, the tape says it works on rough surfaces. So I don't know. It's someone's fault, but it's not the wall panel's fault. I think they want to stay up just as much as I want them to stay up. And so I'm hoping that they can sort of work with these command strips and kind of figure out something that works out for everyone.
I mean, this is really we're not even just dispensing tech advice here. This is parenting. This is relationship advice. Noah is learning how to work with his wall panels instead of against. And I mean, honestly, people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars per session to go to therapy to learn this level of material. And you're getting it for free by watching Dark Mode here on YouTube and Twitch for the one person that actually watches it on Twitch.
No, that's definitely true. I feel like I've learned a lot and I've grown as a person over these past few days. Learning, I really went through the 5 stages of grief,
Oh,
and
wow.
now I'm finally at acceptance, where I've accepted that I need to move on and try new things, and that's where these command strips come in. So I'm hoping.
And you know what? You learned that always fighting and confronting your wall panels wasn't the best way forward. And so you took what you've learned and you used that to try something new. You said, look, rather than fighting and bickering and going at each other all day, we're going to work together. We're going to try to make some changes in our relationship, you and your wall panels. And I mean, it has been a solid 7 minutes. They have not fallen.
They have not fallen. That's better. Honestly, that's better than it's been for this whole time. I sat down, I realized I was misdirecting my anger. It's like one of those things, it's like, couples therapy for my wall panels and I. And we were, I was fighting with the wall panels, but in the end, we were really on the same side. And there was, there was a common enemy there.
Yeah. The common enemy being the wall.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I do want to also point out here, I'm going back through the chat. People are hopeful that you and your wall panels will get through things. This person, though, clearly late to the party, has said, "What's with the stupid jackets?" We have worn these all 71 episodes, so I don't know where you've been. Maybe listening on Spotify or Apple Music and not watching, which is fair, and you should do that. You should watch and listen. That way you get a different perspective. There's little Easter eggs we leave in here, so you hear something new every time.
Oh, yeah.
But they did fortunately get corrected here. The jackets are kind of a tradition. They probably still have the tags. So, Noah, would you care to hold up your sleeve? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
It's been 2 years now. Two years.
I think the person that said what's with the stupid jackets, they might have like a smudge on their screen, or like there might be maybe like there's like some issue with their screen, I think, because there's no way they're looking at these jackets. These are like the coolest jackets I've ever seen in my life. They must be confused.
Yeah, no, have you seen the lining? Look at this. Look at this.
It's so good. Look at this one. This one's like a jungle in here.
Ah, I know. I'm jealous of your lining. That's really good. You've got the jungle with you all day. I've got this honeycomb. There's bees. Do you have bees in yours?
I have butterflies and flowers. I don't think I have bees.
You don't
Bees are
have bees.
cool.
Well, see, now I'm torn because I love my bees, but those flowers, that jungle, that is tempting. Let me look up this brand, Talia.
I
Are
looked
they
them up a
still?
while ago, and it seemed like they haven't done anything in a while, which might be the reason why we got them
Hey,
for so cheap.
Spring 2022 collection.
Wait, really?
Oh, wait, hang on. Where store locator? Hang on. Hang on. What random stores are these? Can you actually buy these things? That's what I want to know.
I would buy another one for
Oh
90%
my
off.
goodness. I have found another jacket. Wait, this is on Lord and Taylor website. Didn't they go out of business? Isn't that where we got these?
Yeah, maybe some of their stores closed. I don't know. I think that is
I
where we
could have
got them
sworn they
though.
were completely toasted.
Or they might be online only now. I don't know. Something happened.
I will say though, there are retailers. Oh my goodness. Saks Off Fifth is selling these.
These are
Men's
legit.
Warehouse is selling these. Yeah. That's a glowing recommendation if ever there is one.
No, these are legit. This price tag here, $350. We got them for
Yeah.
90% off, but
Yeah, we got them for
$350.
$27.
Yeah. But these are legit. These are legit jackets here. So I don't know what that person was talking about, but I think we should move on.
I finally got back into that old YouTube channel.
Nice.
And somehow I have gained 5 subscribers in the last 28 days and 712 views.
That's pretty good. I'm assuming this is the one that I'm thinking of, the very, very old one.
Yes, that is correct. And there was a period of time in 2018 to 2020 where it was getting at most 4 views a day. It was nothing. But in 2022, 6,000 views.
That's pretty good for like 10-plus-year-old videos.
This channel has 148 subscribers. It has doubled in subscribers since I stopped uploading.
Maybe you should go back to it.
The most recent comment is from 3 weeks ago. And the 5th most recent comment is from 5 years ago. Wow. This is shocking. Oh, now hang on a minute. It looks like a staggering 95% of these views are on one single video.
Really?
What in the world? Yeah. Like, that video is the only video on this entire channel that's getting views. But it has almost, and this is actually very impressive because in just 12 years, since February 13th of 2011, this video has 19,000 views.
Wow, that's more than 1,000 views per year. That's very impressive.
In only 12 years. Yeah, that is more than 1,000 views per year. You're right. On average. That is crazy. It is 1 minute long. I would say that is a very successful, I dare say, video.
I think so. I'm very impressed by that.
Oh no. All of my videos were extremely disliked.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
My like to dislike ratio on one of these videos is 11%.
Oh no. Damn.
So we're talking about one like and however many other dislikes that is,
Yeah,
because it
that's
doesn't show you.
well, isn't that like a 1 to 9 probably or something like that? Or 1 to 8 if there's 9 total, something like that.
Yeah. One out of
11%.
9, yeah. So 8 dislikes, 1 like.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was a youngster making these videos. I will say though that my most successful video on this channel, this is how I knew I was going to be a YouTuber. Because in June 17th of 2011, I uploaded a video that received 170,000 views. Right?
Was that on this channel that you're talking about or a different one?
Yeah.
This channel.
Has a video with 170,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, sure. Does it have a 58 points? There's 36 dislikes and 51 likes. It was not well received because I was, I think, 12 and a half.
We're gonna say it was controversial. Maybe it was ahead of its
Yeah.
time. Maybe people
I would
didn't
say
quite
that, yeah.
understand it. I think we're gonna
They
go with
didn't.
that.
I think we're going to go with that. This is how I got started here on the tubes. It's crazy to think I've been on YouTube for, oh God, this year's going to be 13 years. That's more than half my life that I've been making YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of people in the chat are asking for the name of the channel, but I'm assuming you don't want to
You're
give that
never going to
out.
get it. That's not going to happen, folks. Yet that's just not going to happen. I will not be telling.
Never? What about like a
No.
million? What if you get like 1 million subscribers? Then will you reveal it? Something big? Maybe. I'm not going to make you commit to anything, but maybe.
Okay. 5 million subscribers. That's my price for revealing this absolute like embarrassment. Okay, it's not that embarrassing. I was a kid. I was making videos.
It's not embarrassing.
But I don't want to. I'm not revealing that information. I need 5 million subs. So if you guys and your 4.5 million friends subscribe, I'll do it. I'll drop the at, but not until then. Not a moment sooner.
All right, unless someone can pay me enough to make it worthwhile for me to leak it.
Someone here says, I'm 35. I remember 13 years ago. I should hope so. Unless you had a very brief period of amnesia or have just woken up from said period of amnesia. I'm glad to hear that, Chris.
I have very few memories from 13 years ago.
Really?
I think. I'd have to sit and think about it.
Memory.
I don't know. I have like maybe some memories. A lot of them are pretty vague, but like I don't know. 13 years ago. That's a long time. A lot happened in 13 years. It's a lot of stuff to remember.
Well, yeah, but that's how memories work. It's not, you're not like studying them. It's not like you have to write them down all the time. You just remember things.
I don't know. I guess I got too many song lyrics and coding terms in my head, but we'll see.
Dude, 13 years ago was 2010. That's weird. Every time there's a new year, I realize that things are a year further ago than they were a year ago. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. I got you.
And it's for the first like 2 months of the new year, I just have this realization. I'm like, oh wow, 2015 was 8 years ago. And then everyone goes, whoa, no way. Time? What's that?
No, honestly, that is weird to think about. Because that doesn't seem like that. I definitely remember 2015 more 8 years ago than I remember like 13 years ago. But like still 8 years ago. It's kind of crazy.
But you know what? This guy is 53 and could be my grandfather. That's
There's
those
someone
are
who
some tight
said
margins.
someone said I'm 54 and I could be your father. So we got a
So
54-year-old father and a
and a
53-year-old
53-year-old
grandfather.
grandfather. That makes
That's
sense. That
good.
checks out.
Yeah, yeah.
My actual grandfather was born in 1934 though, so that's a little bit further back.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days
Those
of
I
the Great
remember. I remember
Depression.
those
Yeah.
days. Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Noah was a big proponent of the New Deal when it came
Oh,
out.
absolutely. I mean,
Do you remember when
look
the
at what
New
it's
Deal
done for us.
dropped?
Oh, dude, that was
Fire.
crazy, man.
FDR dropping the New Deal. That
Absolute
was
banger.
some banger, absolute,
FDR was the goat
absolute banger
FRFR.
legislation. FDR absolutely goated.
Oh my god, Hundo P.
Hundo P. But do you remember when World War II dropped?
Oh,
Just not goated.
that was crazy. That was whack, honestly.
That was at 100%. World War II, whack as hell.
Yeah, bro.
Should we talk about Apple stuff? I forgot about that.
I think we've vamped for enough time. I think we could get into that.
Yeah, well, we're not vamping. We're just shooting the shit. We're just two bros
We're just-
catching up. I haven't seen you since last year.
Ha, good one. Classic.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We need those sound
I
effects.
don't mean to
again.
alarm you, Noah, but Terry had socks before we were even born. To be fair, Noah had socks before I was born, and we were born in the same year. He was just born a little sooner. Like, you get socks very, very early in age.
Yeah. That's like an interesting, that's like one of the milestones, like you have like, your birthday, your your driver's license, you get married, whatever, you get your socks, your first socks. That's a big milestone in life.
Absolutely. Most people are well into their mid 40s by the time they get their first socks.
Yeah. It's a crazy world.
I do always love the tropes of New Year's, which is people who are not old remarking about how old they are. People who are actually old having no idea that anything has changed because it's all a blur at that point. My grandmother doesn't even remember how old she is. Why would she pay attention to that? She's got a lot of other things on her mind.
Yeah.
And then, of course, medium old people looking at young people and telling them how young they are.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it is. It's like when you're young, you want to be older, and then when you're old, you want to be younger, and when you're in the middle, it's like you don't know which side you're on. It's like that whole thing. It is kind of funny.
Dude, if I had a penny for every time I talk about vintage Apple. And by the way, vintage is a subjective term. If you buy a vintage car, it's probably 40 years old. But if you buy a 40-year-old Apple product, that's an antique. Like, vintage is relative to the time frame for whatever thing it is. So I make a video on an older PowerBook or the original MacBook Air or an older iPhone, some of the original iPhones. Those are vintage. Apple considers stuff from like 2015 to be vintage. So like, give me a break. But every single time I say like, here's this vintage iPhone, there's some like mid millennial, like born in the late 80s, who's like, oh my gosh, this is vintage. I had that phone last week. Haha, you're so young. Oh, you must be a fetus. You must still drink out of a bottle. Oh, do you even have your adult teeth in yet? Haha, I'm so old. I remember playing on the PS3. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Why are you gatekeeping the concept of time?
Is that Mickey Mouse that comments that on your videos? Because that's what it sounded like.
Oh boy, I'm so old, I can't even see straight anymore.
Wait, that's actually really good. That's really
Wait,
good.
was that actually?
I think so.
Was it?
I think that was actually really good. I don't know. I was
I'm gonna need
impressed.
some. I need a point of reference. I don't know what Mickey Mouse sounds like. I guess that. We'll see what
I
the
don't know.
chat-
I feel like that was good.
I'm gonna kill myself if you don't say that iPhone is basically new.
Oh my god.
Gotta
I
love
think
it.
that's pretty good. Yeah, people are saying that was good. I think that
Someone
was
said
good.
that it was scary close to some kind of demonic possession.
Is that true?
There. I don't necessarily disagree. I'll tell you what though, I can find you countless like real world examples of exactly what I'm talking about because I had a little bit of a viral moment on TikTok. I don't know if did we talk about this?
I
I
think
think we did.
was this the one with the charger?
Hey?
The one with the charger that the other account stole and got like 11 million views, or is this a different one?
Oh no. That's back when I started my TikTok like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it was because someone stole our content, put it up there, and I was like, "Hey, that's mine." And then everyone on TikTok bullied them into taking the video down, and I kind of felt bad
Yeah.
about that. But I now have my very own viral TikTok, which, if you'll look here, look at that. Oh, you can't see that at all. 2 million likes,
Wow.
18.8 million views. Oh yeah.
Wow. That's legit.
So that's like legit viral territory. And oh yeah, this person is right. I talked about this on Genius Bar, but not here. So that video was very interesting because a lot of people enjoyed it, which I'm glad about. But every time a video gets seen by 18.8 million people, a couple of them are going to be annoying geezers who can't help but criticize everything that they see ever. And so, there are 7,475 comments on this video. Some of them are going to be a little bit irritating. And obviously I can't go. There's no way I could possibly go back through all of that. But immediately, 43 minutes ago, I did not even have to go back an hour. This video has been up for how long has this been up for? I posted this video on December 11th. 43 minutes ago, I've got a comment that's exactly what I'm talking about. They said, hang on, I lost it. They said, 3G just discontinued a few days ago. It's so recent, bro. People are like, oh, I still have this in my drawer. I just used this until last week, it seemed. Oh my goodness. There's so many of these comments too. Although, you know what? I would say a solid oh, here's another one. Bro, stop talking about this like it's a relic, making me feel old AF. It's kind of funny the duality of TikTok because I feel like TikTok is like old people and like literal children. And some people are like, I wasn't even born. And other people are like, I had one on Tuesday.
That's true. Oh my god.
A solid 2,000 comments are like 8 GB and then like the emoji.
Yep, those are the two extremes. I don't know. It's just funny because like people, I get what they're saying that like, oh, you know, it's not in the grand scheme of things, it's not that old of a thing, I guess. But like at the
Yeah.
same time, we're talking about technology, and
Mhm.
especially talking about like the iPhone, like that changed. So it's only not been around for that long, and it's changed so much in the time that it's been around. Especially technology as a whole has accelerated so much lately that it's like even
Yeah.
if on like the absolute scale of time, it's not that old in the relative scale of like technological advancement, it's pretty old. And I feel like people don't
Yeah.
really understand that or take that into account.
It's like, I don't know, it's what I was saying earlier. It's all relative. Like, bro, if your house is built in 2008, nobody's going to say you have an old house. Like, for a house to be old, it would have to be built in, like, I would say, honestly, like the 1920s. Anything newer than the 1920s, I don't think is that old. If I'm going to go out and get, like, I collect antique books, and the books that I really really like are from the 1500s and 1600s. That's
Mhm.
really old. But then I also collect, I like ancient Rome, so I got ancient Roman coins. And when you collect ancient Roman coins, you get these coins from like AD 300, and they're referred to as the newer coins because it was the later empire. Like, and then if you go to Egypt, it's like, oh, your thing is only 5,000 years old. My thing's 7,000 years old. Ah, shut up. Like, it's all relative, bro. Technology operates on a different time scale than, like geology, for example.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's all relative, and technology is so different, especially like, you know, you look at the first like 5 or 6 generations of iPhones, like you compare the original iPhone to like the iPhone 4, and even you compare the
Yeah.
iPhone 4 to like the iPhone 6, like those are pretty big differences that you're not seeing these days. It was there were some big jumps in the early days.
And the really ironic thing is that if you look at the past decade, or let's say 14 years since that iPhone 3G came out, the pace has actually slowed down. Like in 2008, if you were using a phone that was 14, 13 years old, well, it had a landline coming out of it. It certainly was
Yeah.
not, or it was in a suitcase. Like
Yeah.
it, what would have been 13 years old in 2009? 1996? You really think that that would have been considered an antique relic in 2009? But now people are like, "Oh, my 2009 phone's brand new." I made a whole video actually. If we're tying this back in a little bit, look at this, clever, clever
Mhm.
me. I made a whole video which I actually thought was pretty good. It didn't get a ton of views, but if you saw it, then you're cool. You're an OG. Uh, I did sort of like a retrospective on how consumer electronics have become completely cheap compared to what they were. And they also last a lot longer. I mean, if you look at one of the examples that I gave was the Macintosh SE30, which just 3 years later became the Macintosh LC. The only thing they did, it was exactly the same in every way, except they halved the speed of the data bus. So it was a very, very similar computer. And it cost like a third the price in 2 to 3 years. And so those are the types of things that were happening in the early days of computers, and they were unbelievably expensive. You've heard of the Macintosh SE30, right, Noah?
Yeah, I think I actually saw this video that you're talking about too.
Oh, really? So you're an OG.
Yeah, you could say that.
Hell yeah. How much do you think, adjusted for inflation, in 2022 dollars, the Macintosh SE30 starting price was?
I mean, it was in the thousands, right? Those old computers were definitely in the thousands.
Yep. Adjusted for
Even before
inflation,
inflation. Yeah, even before
yeah,
inflation, I feel like they were in the thousands.
that'd be
I don't
correct.
know, 10,000? I don't know.
$16,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The original Macintosh, which so hang on a second. 1984 Macintosh, original MSRP. Steve Jobs, when he announced the original Macintosh, introduced it as effectively, you can kind of think of that as the iMac or the iBook or the MacBook Air of its time. The intent was to make it more accessible because at that point, personal computers were ridiculous, out of the realm of even comprehension, right? And so when the 1984 Macintosh came out, it was $2,500. And that was the mass market computer that was meant for to be more accessible for normal people. Now, you probably have seen this coming, but 1984, $2,500, that's $7,163 today.
It's pretty good.
And that was the cheap entry level mass market computer. So, geez, the and that's back in the 80s. Fast forward to the late 90s, 1997, when Steve Jobs was back at Apple, they came out with the G3 PowerBook. That thing started at $5,700 in 1997, not adjusted for inflation. That's like, I think it's about 10 grand if you run the math on that now. Let's see. 5,700, 1997, $10,572. Starting price for that's effectively like the 16-inch MacBook Pro analogous. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is crazy.
It's kind of hard to believe, but the pace of technology is actually slower now. Where, the fact that people can go online and say, oh, a 2008 iPhone's not that old, when in reality, if you go back 15 years, you would not be using anything that was 15 years old at the time. That was the point that I made in a video a while ago. I was like, I make videos all the time talking about using 13, 14, 15-year-old MacBooks. But if you go back 15 years, 2008, could you imagine in 2008 anyone using every single day for their main workflow a laptop from 1993?
No, those computer, like, even by that point, those like old computers, like even like anything before XP, I feel like at that point was already like pretty old, pretty outdated.
Exactly.
Like, and that's not even that old at that point.
And Windows XP would have only been 5 years outdated at most. 2003 to 2008. So like it is interesting because in some ways I agree, probably also because I've been, sentient and human for more time. Like in the 2000s, I wasn't really paying that much attention to computers. Let's be perfectly honest, until the very end of it.
Yeah.
But since, the 2010s, obviously we're a lot more in tune to things. You and I know it because we're actually like alive. But I mean, it is a striking difference. It's actually a really, really major historical event that I think nobody even notices. I think it's genuinely really, really like, remember how all the way through like the early 2010s, planned obsolescence was this huge thing. And people still talk about it today, but the definition got moved around, because in the 90s, you have to remember what planned obsolescence was super big, a big talking point outside of the technology sector from like the mid 90s to the mid 2000s. And that's a very key piece of time, because those were the times where you could buy a brand new $5,000 machine in 1998, and by 2001 it was barely usable because everything was moving so fast. I personally would argue that that wasn't necessarily intentional obsolescence that was built into it, but just a reflection of how fast we were developing and innovating. But when you look at the current uses of planned obsolescence, people mainly just talk about like the iPhone battery thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten to the point in the earlier iPhones, it really was. I don't know if there ever was, planned obsolescence. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But in the early days,
Yeah.
it was really that the components in the phone, like the processor, wouldn't be able to keep up after a couple of updates, and like the pace of innovation was like, adding like what the 3GS added video recording, right? And you couldn't record videos
Yeah.
before that. Like things like fundamental things like that were happening. And now we've gotten to the point where like things are so good that the battery is the limiting factor. Like on those old phones, the
Yeah.
battery could have also been an issue, but the other things became obsolete before the battery did. So that was, it sort of
Exactly.
hid that issue, I guess you could say. But
That's
yeah,
a very good point. Because like if early cell phones, you would not have been using them long enough for your battery to be the problem. And I think it's very interesting that the iPhone battery gate was this big issue, and people were using these 5-year-old cell phones, which historically no one had ever used mobile devices that long. Like the concept of the PDA from inception to obsolescence was less than like 5 years.
yeah,
It's crazy to think about. And I mean, it's like, I think I watched some news like explainer video, and this is probably like almost 10 years ago, because this was in high school that this happened. But I remember uh we watched this thing, and I was just thinking like this is just wrong, because they were like, look at this example of planned obsolescence. In one model of computer, they're using this type of connector, and then just 2 years later they changed the connector to a different shape, and that meant that it didn't work. And I was like, bro, you're talking about S video to VGA. Those are different technologies, and sometimes you have to change a connector. Like that's what they were talking about. They're talking about when S video and VGA were being replaced with like DVI.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, you literally, like the connector itself cannot display any higher resolutions. So I mean, if you want to keep using VGA for the rest of your life and be stuck at what can VGA do? 720?
Probably
Maybe
like
1080, I think.
maybe 1080i or something. But like,
Yeah. Like there it's not evil corporations trying to lock you out. It's physically impossible to push, it's a physical thing. It's a connector. You can't get more out of it than it is capable of having. And you can't just, like, the implication was, oh, well, they should have just designed it to work longer in the first place. It's like, oh, so they should have just anticipated, technology that they didn't actually have. These corporations.
yeah, I feel like if ever there was to be an argument about planned obsolescence, it would be now more than then, just because like things have slowed down. The
Hmm.
pace of innovation has slowed down. Because things are so good. Like if you look at the past couple of iPhones compared to the first couple of iPhones, big difference in terms of like, now we're getting incremental improvements. And that's because things are already so good that you don't even need to improve it that much. So now you could even, if you really wanted to, I'm not saying you should, but you could get into that
Yeah.
discussion of like, oh, they're making choices for planned obsolescence because now that things are slower, they kind of maybe they can anticipate things a bit more, or they can make more decisions. In those old days, things became obsolete because like things were changing so quickly, and that's what happens when things change so quickly.
Like, would you call going from a CRT to an LCD planned obsolescence now? Would you call the abandoning of plasma screen TVs planned obsolescence? No. Most of these are just the development of technologies mixed with demand. Plasma screen TVs, they went away because it became uneconomical and impractical compared to LCDs. But there was a while where plasma screens, remember in the mid 2000s, like plasma screen TV was like the status symbol because they could be like 57 inches.
Yeah.
And that was huge at the time. But now nobody really uses a plasma screen TV because they're enormously heavy and expensive. They're actually quite cool though because they have individual illumination. So they kind of like OLEDs have true black and good contrast ratios.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel like oh, I was gonna say something. I feel like if anything, if you could say that nothing's planned obsolescence, you could say everything is planned obsolescence. Like it's planned that this is not going to be the thing that sticks around for like the rest of time. I mean, there's different time scales for how long. Like you can look at Lightning. Lightning has been around for since the iPhone 5. What was that? 2013 or right? 2013.
The iPhone 5 came out in 2012.
2012. So the Lightning cable has been around since like 2012 or something like that. And maybe next year if the iPhone goes to USB-C, that'll probably be the last nail in the coffin for Lightning, I guess. I mean, you could say that Lightning was planned obsolescence because maybe they weren't planning on supporting it for years and years and years, but it lasted for 10 years, 11 years, whatever. So
I mean, planned obsolescence is such a silly term if you think about it. I mean, why are we not all driving Ford Model Ts, right? They got us from A to B. Why don't we just continue to do that? The Ford Model T proved that advancement has to keep going because do you remember the famous quote from Henry Ford in the 1920s?
What was it about? Like he wanted every person to have a Model T or something like that?
Oh, that was, the Model T. It was like, we want a chicken in every pot and a Model T in every driveway or something like that. I can't remember the quote.
Like that. Yeah.
But in the 1920s, the famous quote was, you can have your Ford in any color you want as long as it's black.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember
that. Because they only had black cars. And the whole 1910s, they only had the Ford Model T. There's one model, one color. That's it. That's all you want. And wouldn't you know it, very quickly, they were like, so what do we do if everyone already has a Ford Model T? Could you imagine if every single person had a black Nissan Altima on the road today? Like, you would never need to get a new black Nissan Altima because they all are exactly the same. So eventually it's like, okay, maybe we'll do a green Nissan Altima.
Green.
And we can make it a little faster. And we can make the bumpers more sturdy so you can bash it into more walls before it starts to fall off.
I would buy that car.
Boom. I would too. Who wouldn't? And that's how. And then what? So you paint the new one green and make it look different, and then that's planned obsolescence now.
Yeah, I mean it's faster than the other one. The other one's slow, and it should have been faster.
Someone says you could buy some paint and paint your Model T. I don't think so. I don't think paint was invented until 1990. You agree?
It was all just wallpaper. I think you could wallpaper your Model T before then.
That would actually be so funny. I would love to see that. I bet you in the 1920s, like, how today people will wrap their car and like put spoilers on it. I bet you in the 1920s, people would like wallpaper it and put like wainscoting on the bottom and like a sconce on the side.
Oh yeah, that's some drip right there.
That is absolutely dripped out, let me tell you. And then instead of like, people put LED lights in their cars.
Oh yeah.
How about a brass chandelier?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
I was thinking a
classy.
couple candles to like a couple
Oh,
candles to
nice.
give some nice like mood lighting.
Yeah, some nice soft lighting, and then you can have the little candle on the dish that you can carry around in your
Exactly. In your
in your night coat
pajamas.
with the little pom pom off the nightcap.
Yep.
That's a great idea. I bet
Oh
you
yeah.
1920s drip would have been the funniest thing to see if there was like a car modding scene. Do you think anyone ever slammed a Ford Model T?
That is really funny. Like there's gotta be some people who got that thing and were like, oh, like someone has to have like modified their car back in those days.
1920s modified Ford Model T. I wonder if anyone has done this. I just can't imagine that people would have not done that. I mean, I know one of the things that people would always do is like take the hood covers off so you could see the engine,
Oh jeez.
but they were very small little engines. They didn't go very fast. I would love to see someone put like spinners on a Ford Model T. You know the rims that have like the thing that keeps spinning when you stop.
Yeah. I want to see someone like roll coal in a Model T. You think there were any of those people back in the day?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because the Ford Model T competed with electric cars.
Hmm.
Did you know that?
I'm not sure if I did.
Let me look at 1910s. Before the like automobile was established, before the Model T came out, most cars were actually battery electric cars.
Hmm.
Here, oh wait, here's the most popular car of 1905. I found a picture of it. And I would so love to make a video on one of these. That would actually be really sick. But this is your Tesla of 1905 right here.
Oh, I like that.
And actually the similarities, I don't know. It kind of does look like a Model 3. Look at that front end with that smooth no grill. Also
Mm.
no real headlights cuz it looks like they did put sconces on the front of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
So it's a Fritchel.
Hmm.
I wonder if how much do you think a Fritchel costs? I want to get one. It doesn't.
Like,
I will say, yeah, I want to get one right now.
do they still exist? Like an
Yeah,
original one?
no. Oh, an original one? I I thought you were saying
Maybe
like,
in a
are they
museum
still making
somewhere.
cars?
No, I mean maybe you could find one in a museum somewhere, but there's no way you could actually get
Whoa!
one.
It had a range of 100 miles.
Well, it's
I
better
feel like
than
that's
some
not
EVs today.
bad for 1905. That's like the same range as a Nissan Leaf now.
That's like the whole world back then. 100
Dude,
miles.
could you 100 miles in 1905? No range anxiety at all. Where would you possibly need to go that's more than 100 miles away?
Yeah.
That is sick. I want to drive one of these. Can you even buy? Oh gosh, they only built 500 and there might only
Oh,
be one left.
oh, good luck getting that one.
Crap. I want to buy a Fritchel. I will say I do get why it didn't catch on. It's not as ringy as Tesla. Could you imagine being like, yo, do you guys have the new Fritchel?
It sounds like an
The new
old timey name, like of a
yeah.
person.
Well, wouldn't you know it? It was started by Oliver Parkle Fritchell.
But was that a last? I feel like it could be a first name.
Fritchell as a first name?
Yeah, like like one of those like old timey like first names, like like old man Fritchell down the street. It's like
Okay, I
I
could
don't know.
see
I
that,
could
but I
see
feel
it.
like Old Man X is usually a surname.
All
Like
right,
they wouldn't
that's
say
true.
old man Dan. Like no, they would say Old Man Crotchet,
All
Old
right,
Man
then
Fritchell.
I could see it. I could see it a last name. I could see it being. I could see it being a first name, like a really old timey like. I don't know, like Fritchell Willoughby, the boy genius.
Okay, Fritchell Willoughby. That does sound like a name. I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if I wonder if they had like a model designations like the new Fritchell Ditchell, 102 miles.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Ditch your old Fritchell and get the new Fritchell Ditchell.
Ditch your old Fritchell and get the Ditchell, the Fritchell Ditchell on sale
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, there you go.
That is so funny. Someone said that Jay Leno drove one. Where is the Fritchell? Dude, I will absolutely watch a Fritchell. That is so sick. Old cars are so cool. I do
That
get
is
when
pretty
people say
cool.
like, "Oh, they don't make them like they used to." I mean, there's good reason because they were hideously unsafe, slow, and dangerous. But like,
Yeah.
so like they do make them better in many ways. Uh, but they do look rather magnificent.
Oh yeah, when your dad had that old car, that like baby blue,
Oh
what was
yeah.
it called from like the 50s or whatever or whenever, I don't know whenever that was from.
1954. It was a 1954 Chevy Bel Air that we had
That
for a
was a
couple
cool,
years.
and we went for like a little drive around the neighborhood. Like that was pretty cool, I gotta say.
Yeah. I personally, okay, if I were to have any classic car, I would definitely have a Triumph TR6. It's not
Never
that
heard of it.
old. It's not that like crazy, but this is like an actual achievable, like if I were to get a classic car, I would get a Triumph TR6. They're not that expensive. Bro, look at this. Let me pull my screen up here and tell me that this is not sick. 1975 Triumph TR6.
I
It's
do like that.
$28,000. These things are tiny. This is an itty bitty little tiny car, straight six. It's British Leyland, so it'll probably break a lot, but like look at this. I would
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely drive like one of these tiny little old roadsters. That is so sick.
That should be your next project after the Porsche.
Oh God, I don't know if I can do any more projects for a while. And I love that British Racing Green. There's
That is a
something just
nice
so
looking car.
special about it.
Yeah, I like that.
I still can't find Jay Leno in the Fritchell. Let me look this up. Jay Leno Fritchell. I don't see it here at all. Oh, he drove a different one. It's a Baker electric car.
Mm.
There we go. That is really cool. That looks like a box.
A box.
I want to buy one of those now. Let me share this screen. Dude, this is the Apple car of 1910. I'm telling you. Look at this.
Oh man, that really is a box.
It is literally just a stagecoach with nothing in front. It's two-seat. It's just got like a little bench, candles on the front. There's Jay. Look at him
Nice,
go.
nice. Love him.
Is that a clock? Is that a wall clock in there? Oh my God. I need one of
Oh
these.
yeah, yeah.
Holy crap. They did a convertible one. Dude,
Wow.
I want one.
That that is pretty cool.
Look at that. That's your Tesla
Wow.
supercharger from 1911.
Oh yeah.
They did like a big one too. How much? Wait, how much did these cost? Holy crap. $2,600.
How much is that gonna
Wow.
be?
In 1913, $2,600. Okay, let's get it. Everyone take a guess. Okay, well, everyone else is gonna cheat, but you take a guess.
I mean, what's inflation? I mean, inflation for over 100 years.
Yeah.
26. I don't know. It's got to be like 10 times, 100 times as much. I don't know.
So what is that, like 26,000?
Sure, 260,000. I don't know.
Okay, not that much. It's $78,000.
70.
That's
So
pretty
that was a
pricey for a box.
luxury car of its time.
Dude, I want one. Baker electric car for sale. How much do they cost? There are 0 Baker electric for sale on classiccars.com, unfortunately. Oh, hang on. This one's sold. Ah, $1 million.
That is an appreciating asset right there.
Yeah, it is. Wait, what? I don't know how I have gotten to this, but I have somehow managed to find a classified ad from 1914 from Chicago for a used Baker electric car for $2,400. Call Ralph.
Should we call him?
You think Ralph is still kicking?
I mean,
Dude, wait, this thing,
2,400 be pretty
bro,
good.
it had a range of 200 miles.
That's really impressive. That's really impressive.
Why? Okay, we honestly we screwed it. We completely screwed ourselves.
Yeah, what the heck? That's like seemed like we were pretty good there for a while, and then we went in a different direction.
Bro, 113 years ago, we had electric cars with 200 miles of range. Where did we go wrong?
I would be so curious. I mean, is it like big oil, big diesel? Is there like
Big
a
diesel.
is there
Yeah.
even a conspiracy? I don't know, but like that
I
is
think
kind of crazy.
economics was the conspiracy, unfortunately. But look at this. I did find one. Bring a Trailer has a no reserve Baker Electric project car. I think this
Current
might have
15K.
this might be a little old, but can I bid and comment? Hello? Oh, this is I don't know what this is, but this is not currently active. But like look
Oh.
at this. We could have had a Baker Electric car with a ton of work needed on it, clearly. This is so cool. Look at that.
Dang, I would drive that today. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
just as it is with the
That
with all
looks
that.
road safe.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I want one. I really do. No cap. A 200-mile electric 1910 convertible. That is so sick. Could you imagine rolling up to the whip? Whipping up in that? Hell yes.
That would be quite a flex.
We should build one ourselves, like a new one from the original blueprints.
We should. That would go great. It would be road legal and road safe, and then we could do a road trip in it. We could go across the country.
Yeah. 200 miles. I'm sure. What's the top speed? 1910
jeez.
Baker top speed. It had a 3-speed transmission and
Interesting.
a whopping 1.75 horsepower.
Not quite as good as 2 horses on a buggy.
Top speed 14.
Okay, so it's like about as fast as a bicycle.
That's worth 80 grand.
It's fast. It's faster than walking.
There were multiple, like you could get a Columbia electric car from 1901 that could go 12 miles an hour, and it could only do 35 miles though, so not ideal.
Hmm.
90 miles at 11 miles an hour for another model. The American Electric Vehicle Company had 4 horsepower.
Whoa.
Yeah. Top speed 15. Okay, we're seeing a trend here.
You know, they'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
Anywhere. They'll get you anywhere you need to go. Realistically.
As long as it's very
but not-
close.
I mean, 90. I'm talking about back in the day. I'm talking about 100 whatever years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Realistically, they'll get you where you need to go, just very, very, very slowly.
Yeah, I mean, look, in 1904, do you need to go more than 35 miles and faster than 14 miles an hour? No. You weren't even going to fly anywhere. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah. It's whatever.
Anyway, we
Now-
got very distracted.
We did get distracted. We are over time, which is fine.
Yes.
I want to point out before we end that all of the wall panels
Oh my god.
are still up, and I don't think that they're looking like they want to fall. I think they're looking like they're up there.
You're right. Holy moly. That's crazy. How did you do that?
It's the power. See, I'm hoping if the real test is, I'm not going to take them down because I always take them. Well, they usually fall, but if they don't fall, I take them down at the end of the week. I'm going to leave these up here, and if they're up here by next week, then I will be very impressed. And I think we might need to get Command Strips to sponsor this podcast.
I think so. I mean, honestly, what are we even going to do if those stay up? Like, we have no content anymore. I feel like that was carrying the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I might have to sabotage it. Let me tell you this. If Command Strips wants to sponsor the podcast and these things stay up, then that's great. But if they don't want to sponsor it, then I might sabotage the wall panels to make sure that they fall down. So
I like
maybe
this.
it's a little bit of a
Using
threat.
blackmail to land a sponsor. That's really
Yeah,
good.
exactly. It'll go over well.
I like that. You know what? That's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get on. We're going to hit up the emails. We're going to set our trap. So we will update you guys next week. Wait, maybe next week. I am going to Japan in 3 days. Oops, forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah.
I think we might be off next week, but I hopefully will be back the week after, because I think, what time is it right now in Japan? Oh,
I think
it's
we
12:14 p.m.
Yeah.
I'll totally be able to do that.
So are you gonna join from Japan?
Yeah.
Very cool. And are we gonna have maybe another person could join as well next week?
Maybe. Could be. Who's to say?
Possibly.
Yeah. So
Well,
stay
find out.
tuned. If I am able to be on, I will. I mean, I'll set it up in advance, so you'll see that the stream is going to happen. If you don't see it, don't be surprised. I might be skiing. Not sure about that. It depends on what day it is. I very well might be skiing. Oh well.
All right.
But the week after that, I think we're all good.
Okay, cool.
You know what else is cool, Noah?
What else is cool?
This transition to ending today's episode of Dark Mode. I've been your host, Luke Miani,
And I've been your host, Noah Rubin. Have a great night.
and a great year. Aw.
Aw.